Hey friends, thank you for joining me for another episode of YQG in Bloom. My name is Tracy Martins and I'm your host. And tonight we are recording at the KordaZone Theatre in Windsor, Ontario. And I am with Joey Wright, who is directing the upcoming production of the Three Musketeers. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. And I also have Nick Prsa, and you are playing Athos?
Athos.
Okay, I knew I was going to screw that one up.
Everyone does it once.
Don't quiz us on any of our French.
Okay, so when is the production coming out?
We open on September the 13th, so in 10 days.
And it's every weekend through September?
We run for 3 weekends. The first weekend is Friday, Saturday, and then we have a Sunday matinee. And then the following 2 weekends are Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
So let's get this out of the way. What is this version of the Three Musketeers? Since everybody has their own interpretation.
There's always a different interpretation on every production or movie or anything like that of the Three Musketeers. What I was looking for was to kind of take the vibes of Pirates of the Caribbean and put it on stage with the Three Musketeers. So most of the show is action, comedy, with little bits of drama, tragedy, grief, and loss kind of just sprinkled out over a little bit.
Oh, so it's going to be...
It's kind of all over the place. You start off with D'Artagnan, who is going to Paris to be a musketeer. He's on an adventure and inadvertently finds himself mixed in on a scheme by Cardinal Richelieu to overthrow the king and falls in love. And there's so much going on at all times, but it's fun, action-filled, laugh-filled, and there might be an occasional tear or two.
Okay, so it's the Three Musketeers soap opera. And who is Athos?
Athos, being one of the Three Musketeers, is someone that I was quite drawn to when Joey had put up the auditions for this, because he's such a wonderful contrast between the other two, who are brought wonderfully to life by Nicole Clark and Gianluca Iacari.
Okay, so we have a female musketeer. Ooh.
Yes, and she does a great job taking Porthos's vanity, but also bravery, and being able to meld them together. She's just a wonderful stage presence, and Gianluca does an amazing job with taking the piousness of Aramis with his kind of one weakness being a lovely woman. Now, in the case of Athos kind of contrasts them, where he has that kind of romanticism that those others two have kind of put deep down. He's this kind of broken-hearted, sullen member of the Musketeers. So when he sees D'Artagnan, who's youthful and is ready to fall in love, as much as he wants to caution him with being too naive about rushing in, trying to do a swashbuckling adventure, he sees a bit of himself in that as well too. So that's, I think, my favorite part about playing this part, by not just being a kind of almost an older brother figure to D'Artagnan, but the personal journey that he finds to kind of rediscover that kind of love of life and going into the great unknown that he used to have.
That's a really interesting way of putting it. It's almost like there's a smidge of jealousy, but it pushes him to become the person that he wants to be.
Exactly, because he's been, without spoiling anything, his heart is not the same that it once was, because of something that happened in his past. So when he sees D'Artagnan kind of looking almost like he's going down the same path, it takes him aback. Almost. But that romanticism that he had for that part of his heart is kind of transferred into being this person who wants to serve his country and his king. So those kind of highlights, even though they're kind of pushed down, still are coming through even from the beginning of the play. And through doing that, it's been an amazing process to discover where those glimmers get to come through under Joey's direction.
I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely coming to this one, because I don't even know the last time I've seen a production of the Three Musketeers, like obviously on TV. It's been a long time, so it'll be completely new and fresh for me. And what made you decide to direct this?
I love the 90s Disney Musketeers movie with Kiefer Sutherland, Tim Curry, Charlie Sheen.
I think that's the last time I've seen it.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's one of my favorite go-to movies. If I'm sick at home eating chicken soup, that's the movie I put on. And I was on vacation and I thought to myself, I'm like, I wonder, there's got to be a play. There has to be a stage play of the Musketeers. Did a little bit of research, found a script, ordered it, read it, and was like, this is fun. This is just a silly, good, fun time. And I was like, that's the one. I want to be able to put on the Musketeers and have a cast that just has fun, an audience that has fun, and they're coming to the theater for that performance, and it is just, like I said, it's a swashbuckling adventure tale, and you just get to enjoy it. There's no heavy thinking, there's no wondering, is there a plot twist at the end? It's just 2 hours of just enjoyment and fun on stage.
Now, we're not going to get lost in the language.
No. It is written in plain English, our English, yeah.
How many cast members are in this production?
So the script calls for 12, but we have 14.
Oh my goodness.
And we have the stagehands also kind of popping in and out throughout some of the scenes. So we have a pretty decently sized cast. One of the things you pointed out earlier, one of the Musketeers is a woman. Porthos, played by Nicole Clark. And it's not a woman playing a man. Porthos is a woman in this show. I was like, she brings a great energy. She brings a great character. And I'm like, why not? Why not have Porthos as a woman?
Yeah.
In the old story, they're all men, but I figured it's 2024. Why not?
Yeah, she could kick butt.
And it's great. We have a couple bits throughout the show as well with the fact that we've changed Porthos from a man to a woman. And
it sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. That was my goal, was to just have a fun show. And
you said that there hasn't been a production of the Three Musketeers in Windsor in a long time.
I think it's been about 10 or 15 years. And the last company to do it was UP over at the university.
Wow. So, yeah, it's time for a new one.
Why not? It's time for something fresh, something new, something people haven't seen in a long time. Let's go for it.
Now, have tickets are they on sale yet?
Yes, tickets have been on sale since the first weekend of August.
Oh, cool.
We were in the Pride Parade. The whole cast, most of the cast was in the Pride Parade. They were in costume, they were sword fighting, because we have, 8 or 9 large sword fights throughout the show.
Wow, on the set?
On the set. Goodness. And it's not just on the main stage. We have sword fights on the stairs. We have sword fights upstairs. We have people that run out a door and come in another door. Eric Smith, our fight choreographer, once I got the okay to do the show, he was my first phone call, and I was like, hey, I want you to fight choreograph. And he's like, I'm in. So he's been working on these fights for the better part of a year.
You have a fight coordinator. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. With the fights that we have, I mean, the show starts off, top of the show starts with a fight that's about 1.5 minutes long.
Now, are you in it?
No.
You're just directing?
I'm directing and producing, and that is plenty of work for me.
But you act too.
I do, yes. Yeah.
And how long have you been with Korda?
My first show that I was directly involved in, I was kind of a late bloomer because I was Clue in 2022. I think was the first where
No, you were in the Fantastics.
Oh yes, that was pre-pandemic. So right before that all kicked off, I was in the Fantastics, but I've been involved in community theater since about 2012. So going back to like early high school.
So you've always liked it?
Yes. So actually, and it's funny, this is kind of full circle because being on this stage on Korda specifically, my dad used to do Croatian school plays when this was the Hrvatski Narodni Dom, when it was next to the old church. So this is kind of a bit of a family affair being on this stage as well.
That's really cool. Now, do you just do performances with Korda, or are you with other production companies
I've worked with quite a few production companies. I started off at Windsor Light, and they still do amazing work, and they have a great season coming up. I've also worked quite a bit with post-productions as well, too. And I've also recently served on the board of Windsor Feminist Theatre as secretary. So the great thing about theatre in Windsor is just how diverse this scene is. I still stand by that outside of Toronto and Stratford, we have the strongest theatre scene in the province.
It's true. I mean, like, this is my 3rd podcast here, and we've talked about it before, that the theater in Windsor, the productions, we're getting more and more of them, which is great.
When they announced the shutdown of UP.
Oh, it's horrible.
we had a rehearsal that night here for Three Musketeers, and a bunch of the cast was either directly involved with UP, going into UP, or had graduated from UP. So it was a shock to the system, but also it was an event that really shook people up, and it is a big loss to the community to not have that 66 season community theater company here anymore.
I mean, that's the thing is you have these students that are in there taking theater and acting and production and directing and, what have you, but yet they're not offering to be able to do performances there. They have to look elsewhere. Luckily enough, we do have quite a few different places where they can go to, but I'm hoping that something might change and down the road.
We are too. We're welcoming to everybody that wants to come in. We hope that the decision gets reversed, but that's entirely up to the university.
Yeah. So because you work here.
Well, yeah.
You work here. I mean, you're not just director of this play. You do other things with KordaZone. So what will be the next play after? Is it the Halloween one?
So the next thing here is Frankenstein, directed by Jeff Marentate, in October. And then we have our annual holiday panto in December. That's going to be directed by Mark Worsley. And then Tracy, our founder here at KordaZone, is directing our season opener, Urinetown, next February.
I happen to just see that online about Urinetown. Really quickly, what's that about?
It's sort of
because it sounds...
It's definitely not a name where you're like, oh, I know that show. It's basically sort of a dystopian era play where your water usage is tracked, and you have to, there's a severe water shortage, so you have to track all of your water, including your urine. So it's a musical about just all sorts of kind of crazy nonsense and government control. I don't know too much about it.
No.
Tracy, I know, is absolutely over the moon. She's finally getting to do it. She loves the show. She's been wanting to do it for years. She finally gets that opportunity, so I'm excited to see what she puts on.
And I'm told that the creative process is quite fluid, so we're really looking forward to it here.
Are you going to help out with that?
Well, I think considering Tracy had approached me at the last rehearsal, I think I may be roped in some capacity or another.
I myself am taking 6 months off.
You are?
Well earned, well earned.
I've been going nonstop since COVID ended.
Yeah.
Like our second show back from post-pandemic COVID was Clue, which I directed and produced as well, and that was in February of 2022. And since then, I've had a show on the go, multiple shows on the go from then.
Well, you work with Korda on the board.
I'm the treasurer. Yeah.
You're the treasurer, so you're not taking a break from that. You're just taking a break from the
acting and
stage part.
directing. Yeah, but I'll still do all of my board duties and the treasurer stuff, and I'm the fun police when Mark wants to buy new things. I say, no, Mark, we can't afford that.
Okay, can you come to my house? We both need the fun police every once in a while.
I don't know. I think he said he needed new mics, so go for it.
I know. I need a camera.
Cameras, mics, yeah, go for it.
Why not? I really love coming to the KordaZone Theater because you guys do... Not one play is the same. They're all over the board. I think that's what makes it so fun for people is they don't feel like they have to go to every show. They can pick and choose. And
one of the things we like to say about ourselves is that we're dramatically different because it's not just your usual theater fare. You don't get the standard musicals, the standard classical shows, the standard plays. You know, Three Musketeers is a very well-known show, but I have put my own spin on it. We're doing Urinetown. No one's ever heard of that, but it's a fun musical that's going to be great. But we also do the classics like The Importance of Being Earnest, Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So we try to do a mix of shows that people are very well aware of, that they know, that they love, that they want to experience again or see how we do it differently. But then we do the shows that no one would ever consider or think of. that people get to try out for the very first time.
It really is an institution in the Windsor area. And I know we veered off a little bit from the Three Musketeers. And I know you guys have special nights.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So the second weekend, the Thursday, we have Pay What You Can. So anybody can come in, and if they can only afford $5 for a ticket, they can pay $5.
So there's no in advance. It's
strictly all at the door.
Okay.
And then the third weekend, the Thursday of the third weekend, we have a scent-free performance. So there will be no popcorn made here at the theater. We ask no one wears any perfumes or colognes. And if any flowers are brought for the cast members, to talk to one of the volunteers, and they will bring the flowers backstage out of the general seating area.
That's a great idea to have that for the place, because I mean, it is a very nice and cozy atmosphere, and so many people have allergies and issues.
It's a big space, but when you put 80 to 100 people in here, it gets small really fast.
Yes.
And when you have one person who is wearing very strong perfume or popcorn being made in the popcorn machine, it fills the space. So we wanted to make sure that everybody can come, whether they can't afford a full $25 ticket or if they have an allergy to perfume or colognes or anything like that. We wanted to make sure that everyone can come to Korda no matter what.
That's great. And I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely coming. I'm really excited. And I want to thank you so much, Joey and Nick, for being with me today.
Thank you for coming by. We love having you here.
Oh, always. I want to come back for Frankenstein, too.
Oh, absolutely. Come on by. I mean, like, with Three Musketeers, it's a classic as well with our own twist. I know Jeff, I've been privy to some conversations about the set, and they have some very, very cool ideas about the lab and the set and the creature. So it's definitely going to be one you're going to want to see and get a little sneak peek of before the show the show opens.
For sure. Thank you again, both of you. I really do appreciate it. And again, my name is Tracy Martins. This is YQG and Bloom. Make sure that you follow, like, subscribe to my channel so you can get updates on any of my new podcasts. And follow KordaZone Productions on Instagram, or what is your website?
KordaZone.com.
And get tickets. Make sure you're down here for the Three Musketeers. You guys all have a great day.